Whether you love her for it or hate her, no one can deny that in our culture, Beyoncé has God status, in the same strain that celebrities used to have before the internet. Many people, usually frustrated stans who worship other artists, question why Beyoncé is looked upon as a god, when there are certainly people who have sold more, there are certainly people who have more critical success, and there are certainly people who are more involved with the songwriting and production side than Beyoncé. But if you have any interest in publicity, marketing, celebrity, or just Beyoncé herself, you will know that her current goddess cultural status is no mistake or coincidence. In this video, I want to explore how Beyoncé went from being just another pop star to being the celebrity of celebrities. Her classic Hollywood mythology. One thing that sets Beyoncé apart from other megastars of today is that she debuted well before the internet, which gives her some of that classic Hollywood prestige to her image. Now, you might be thinking, many musicians alive today debuted before social media and the internet took over. But one, most of them don't really have any relevancy today, so any classic Hollywood prestige they might have had in the beginning of their careers probably has been ruined by now. And two, even if some of Beyoncé's peers did debut well before the internet, they don't have the classic Hollywood life story and come up like Beyoncé does. This chart prodigy, whose talent spilled out when she was just a toddler, groomed by her ever so enthusiastic parents, especially her showbiz dad, although he wasn't originally from showbiz, but that's what he became, going on to be signed when she was just 16, having a period leading a record-breaking girl group, then going on to have her own record-breaking solo career. And which pop megastar's life story does Beyoncé's own eerily reflect? None other than the biggest pop star of all time, Michael Jackson. Now, you might say, hold up, that's a step too far, but whether you think Beyoncé is like Michael Jackson at all doesn't really matter, because in our culture at least, because of the way Beyoncé's life reflects that of Michael Jackson, as well as the fact that she's obviously extremely talented and has the same extremely polished royal branding just like Michael Jackson, since his death it seems that Beyoncé has filled Michael's place in our culture as the leading celebrity of celebrities. And apart from the fact that she has a classic Hollywood life story, just because of the fact that she debuted all the way back in 1999, it means that she has had the opportunity to take part in many events with iconic artists that further adds to her own iconic Hollywood image, such as she interviewed Aaliyah, she performed with Prince, she was on stage with Michael Jackson. And because of all these things and the fact that she's still relevant today, otherwise none of these things would really matter, Beyoncé's image has a definite one-up to every other megastar today, because to put it in simple terms, Beyoncé is Hollywood, her complete curation and creation of her image. Stardom today is a very different thing to what it was pre-social media, as stars today, with the power of social media, can let us know if they want to that they are just normal human beings. They can go on Instagram Live and talk and be funny, they can post about the Thanksgiving meal they made for their husband, they can post pictures with bad lighting, no makeup, wearing normal clothes, looking just like one of us, which they wouldn't have been able to do in the age of print media. But Beyoncé doesn't use social media to let us know she's just like us. She instead uses the power of complete curation, because that's what social media is. You have the choice to only show the world what you want them to see, to create the polished and royal image she wants us to believe. We're never going to get posts of her looking like a mess or making a fool of herself, because that's not the image she wants us to see. Instead, we get professional shoots of her in designer clothing, because a queen is the image she wants us to believe she is. And a real queen isn't just a queen for photo shoots or music videos, but she is a queen always, even at home. But social media isn't the only way that Beyoncé has completely taken control of her image. Ever since the surprise release of Self-Titled, Beyoncé has completely stripped print media and the public of their power to make up her image without her consent. She doesn't do any interviews, which allows her to avoid dealing with unwanted questions which could jeopardize her image. Instead, she just tells us what she wants us to know when she wants to. She drops her albums as surprise releases, which takes away the power from the press to form the public's opinion on her music before they've actually heard it themselves. And anytime she does a photo shoot, Beyoncé is in control of who is shooting her and what she looks like, and not anyone else who may usually take power, no matter how powerful they may be. And because of this complete shutdown of public interaction and influence, it takes Beyoncé's image and status up another level from just being another powerful queen to being a literal cultural god. People don't see Beyoncé, people don't interact with Beyoncé, and because of that lack of interaction, it's like she's not one of us. Of course, it's not like we're interacting with Ariana Grande or The Weeknd all the time, but at least they are not completely inaccessible. In the words of Kiana Fitzgerald, the title pop star doesn't fit anymore. Beyoncé has weaved together an entirely new matrix of celebrity. Her royal queen branding. On the topic of complete curation and creation of one's image, a lot of Beyoncé's status as a queen has to do with her own branding branding and artistic choices. Starting off with her fandom name, the Beehive, and the choice to incorporate bees into her imagery, she has designated herself as a queen from the start, with her fans being her loyal followers. Then there is her relationship with Jay-Z, another equally powerful artist whose relationship with Beyonce represents the peak level of success in America. They are extremely wealthy, they are extremely famous, and as well as all their material wealth, they have a family who, because of Beyonce's decision to announce and show off her children with images depicting herself as the Virgin Mary, her family is like the royal family of America. If you're an American, these are your gods, the peak symbol of everything Americans hold dear. And as well as the family they have together, Beyonce and Jay-Z are both respected leaders of black power and wealth in America. And they are seen not just as entertainers or artists, but as leading cultural figures in America and American politics. A lot of people might hate them for being political or might deride them as not knowing what they're talking about, but whether you like it or not, you can't deny Beyonce's status as a provocative political symbol, which the right and the left use to further their own agenda. Beyonce also incorporates royal godly imagery in her own artwork, and her 2017 Grammys performance is one I definitely want to take a look at, as to me, it is like the manifesto of the image Beyonce wants to create, and one that she expands on in her film Black is King. In the beginning of the performance, she's seen seated between her mother and daughter, while showing off her pregnant belly. They are wearing golden halos around their head to designate divinity, which has been used in religious imagery for centuries. The reason I think this image is the most important out of all the imagery she uses in the performance is because in this one image, Beyonce is tying herself to a long line of nobility, and is saying she, like her mother and her daughter, come from a great ancestry of African kings and queens. Combine that royal imagery with all the religious imagery she uses throughout the performance, and the effect that comes off is that Beyonce is a god. Beyonce is a queen. Beyonce is nobility and royalty combined, and because of her then already extremely high status in our culture, I think this one performance and the imagery related with it pushed Beyonce to become something much higher in culture than just a pop star. She became a god. Her very obvious and awe-inspiring talent. And last but certainly not least, one major reason Beyonce is so highly respected and praised is because of her amazing, extremely obvious and awe-inspiring talent. And I say extremely obvious because all you have to do to understand Beyonce's talent is see her on stage. But for a producer or songwriter like Kanye West or Taylor Swift, people are usually less ready to compliment them because the talent isn't just hitting you in the face like it is with Beyonce. Over 23 years, Beyonce has compiled an outstanding discography and portfolio of performances, looks, events, and awards. No matter if you love her or hate her, no one can deny that Beyonce is extremely talented, and that level of godlike talent is part of Beyonce's image as a god. Everyone in the industry respects her, she's like the celebrity of celebrities. And the fact that she's the most awarded artist alive and has the most Grammys out of any solo artist in history is what makes Beyonce, Beyonce. What do you think of journalists constantly praising Beyonce as a queen and as a god? How long have you been a fan of the queen? When do you think B7 will be released? Let me know in the comments down below, like the video, and subscribe if you're new.
You are Beyonce.
Thank
and
you. When you meet, then you